All right, we're talking with Al Cardenas, and he is the new director, right, of the new chairman of the ACU, American Conservative Union.
Right.
And it's quite an honor, quite an interesting position. How did you come about getting into this whole thing?
Well, it started a long time ago. When I was 25 years of age, I'd already been party chairman in the county I lived in and young Republican chairman in my state. And I got a call and asked to co-chair Reagan's campaign in 1975 in the state of Florida when the whole movement was getting its second set of sea legs after Barry Goldwater. I was honored to do that. I was a delegate to his convention in Kansas City and continued that. Then I ran against Claude Pepper on an anti-abortion, anti-ERA platform and co-headed his campaign again in 1980, and then of course spent time with the governor, chaired his efforts in the transition at the Department of Commerce, became an ambassador, came back home, raised a family, and participated in the conservative movement ever since. I've obviously been on the board of ACU for a long time, and I've taken this honor very seriously. It's a burden on your shoulders when all of the various conservative groups in America designate you to head the umbrella organization, and I'm honored by it and understand the importance of the task.
Well, and talking about all the umbrella groups, I mean, obviously that brings up the question of all the controversy with the Go Proud and all these things. This has got to be treacherous waters for you to be stepping right into right away.
Listen, it's never been easy in the movement. I remember when Bill Buckley, who was one of my intellectual mentors, decided to start advocating legalizing marijuana.
Right,
that's Bill Buckley, who's the icon figure of our movement. So there always will be a few twists and turns within the movement.
Right. He got himself in trouble with the civil rights movement a little bit too, and of course the whole purging of the nuts, that he was trying to get out. So
exactly. Well, you'll find that the movement will always be. We'll always have something or other to talk about, and there'll always be some internal tensions. The main point is that the thrust of our energies need to be focused on progressives, liberals, and rescuing America have been failed policies that will haunt us for a good while to come. So we can't lose focus of that, but we do need to address these issues. My point of view is very simple. We're very inclusive when it comes to individuals, regardless of their persuasion, ethics, or gender, and all the other religion, all the other factors. When it comes to organizations that are part and parcel of our network and nucleus, we want to make sure that they advocate principles that are within the sandbox of the conservative movement. And if they don't, they're welcome as individuals, but it's tough but to get organizations to participate in the process when they're outside of the sandbox. Mm-hmm. It's that simple.
Right. I mean, it's the typical Big Ten theory. I mean, we want as many people that have the bulk of our principles as possible to help push the message.
That's Ronald Reagan's message.
Exactly, Ronald Reagan's message. Now, but even on that level, obviously there are groups out there that we don't want to have in with us because they are too extreme one way or another, and I can't help but feel that in a lot of ways there is a certain element today, and we've seen it here at CPAC, that are a little undecorum, don't have decorum. And of course, I'm talking about the booze when Cheney and Rumsfeld were speaking. I mean, how is that? How are you guys thinking of handling that particular element? And I'm not going to name from whom they've come, but how are you going to handle that particular element that seems to be that doesn't seem to want to sit and listen respectfully, even if they disagree with some of our own Big Ten colleagues?
Yeah. Well, I thought that Governor Mitch Daniels last night at the Reagan Awards dinner did a wonderful job in laying out some ground rules for civility if we're going to be successful long term. And that applies not only discourse with our liberal opponents, it applies at home as well. And, we don't have a civility test when you register. We can't do that with 11,000 plus registrants. But we expect appropriate behavior and courtesy of our speakers. And to the point that anyone crosses a line in the future, we don't think there ought to be a tolerance for that. And maybe we need to remind folks more frequently about civility, but those who decide to consciously breach that, maybe shouldn't be part of CPAC, and we'll keep that in mind in the future. There's a thin line between censorship and expected civil behavior,
Right.
but just as you can't cry fire in a crowded theater, you can't be unruly to guests who've been asked to address the crowd. You're being discourteous to the speaker, and more importantly, you're being discourteous to the activists who want to listen to that speaker. So that's not behavior that's going to be tolerated, and we're going to see to it that people hopefully voluntarily abide by the civility request, and if they don't, that they understand they're not welcome, and that will be the end of it.
Well, I want to thank you very much for your time, and good luck in your future endeavors, and as you take this new position.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.